the partnership has worked very well with the school administration and just everybody, but especially the school administration. They worked when we were recruiting superintendents, and they helped to recognize them when they got here and helped to pave the way to let them know what's happening and how things would be in the system.
Vaughn's Jewelers has been involved with the Wilson Education Partnership since its inception. We have been around a long time and enjoy our partnership with them and look forward to continuing that partnership because of what they do for the education in Wilson.
The Wilson Education Partnership has certainly been instrumental in the last 25 years in promoting public education here in Wilson County. Who knew back in 1998, when the Wilson Education Foundation was formed, that later became the Wilson Education Partnership, that it would do so many things? Many of you probably remember those first mini grants that came out. And from there, we went to academic excellent luncheons, In Harmonies, the best musical in town, business education summits, adult spelling bees, Teacher of the Year, Principal of the Year recognition banquets, the Middle School Scholars Program. In 1999, the WEP raised $95,000 for the Accelerated Reader Program. In 2001, we got out and helped assure the passage of the school bond referendum. We've sponsored motivational speakers for high school students. In 2005, over $13,000 was contributed to launch the Right Way program. The WEP has even produced a guide to understanding the school budget. Now, take a test on that project. We've also contributed more than $44,000 to fund training for high school teachers. In 2009, we sponsored a back-to-school opening meeting for the Wilson County school employees. We raised funds to bring the North Carolina Symphony back to Wilson. We implemented the first back-to-school fair for the Wilson County school families, and not long ago, the WEP Endowment Fund was started with the North Carolina Community Foundation. Ladies and gentlemen, the WEP has been mighty active over the last 25 years, along with community-minded people like you.
The Wilson Education Partnership is 25 years old. Celebrating a silver anniversary is quite a significant event, and we have a wonderful legacy to build on with lots of activities we've done with the schools for 25 years. We're using tonight to launch where we're going next, what will happen in the next 25 years, how people can help us, how people can get involved, and what we can do to make things better for our kids and our teachers. Although I haven't been here all 25 years, this is my 18th year working with the partnership, and I'm just as excited as I was, maybe even more so when I got started. We continue to grow and add programs, and we're not getting older, we're getting a little bit younger in our approach to things and looking forward to where we go next. Several months ago, when we started talking about how we could celebrate 25 years, our planning committee decided it was important to reflect upon and honor our history and then to use this celebration as a springboard for what lies ahead. We also decided it was important to thank those that have helped us to help schools, and that's why all of you are here. We realize that a silver anniversary is the perfect time also to establish a new way to thank and recognize those that have made significant contributions to public education right here in Wilson County. Tonight, it gives me great pleasure to announce the establishment of a new award which will be presented annually hereafter by the Wilson Education Partnership to businesses, organizations, and individuals who've made a difference through their contributions and service to our public schools here in Wilson County. On behalf of the Wilson Education Partnership, I'm honored to announce that the very first recipients of this new award are Jim and Carolyn Hunt. Governor, would you and Mrs. Hunt join me up here, please? Make you stand here for a minute. You'll have a chance You'll have a chance to hear just briefly from the governor in a minute. You can have a seat. But beforehand, I get to talk about them for a couple of minutes first. And they don't know what I'm going to say. So, I thought about 25 years. Well, maybe I can come up with 25 things to say about them. And then I thought, no, we'd be here all night. So I decided instead that I wanted to highlight some things that I think are facts about the Hunts that some of you may or may not know. So here goes. Both developed a deep appreciation for education as young students themselves, and they continue to be lifelong learners. Both understand how much positive impact really good teachers can have on students. Teachers like Elsie Brame Hunt and D.B. Sheffield and Ani Cockrell and hundreds of other teachers who we've had here in Wilson County schools. And teachers like Carolyn Hunt, who taught school when her family lived in Nepal and later served as a substitute teacher right here in Wilson County. Both know that children learn more and learn best when their parents are engaged in their education. As the parents of 4 children, and some of them are with us tonight, who attended public schools, and now as grandparents, they have read to their children, helped with homework and projects, attended school functions, baked goodies for school things, and done all that they could do as parents to make sure that they encouraged and supported their children. Both know that volunteers and mentors and community partners are needed in all of our schools, and they both set a fine example of volunteering themselves. Our governor volunteered throughout his 16 years in office, and Mrs. Hunt deserves that same award that Becky Gibbons deserves because she's been a school volunteer for over 35 years. Both have encouraged others, including the business community and the faith community, to get involved. Both of these folks realize that educators alone can't do the job of educating our children. Both took their commitment to our children into their public roles as elected officials, where they impacted policies on the national, state, and local levels. You're all aware of the governor's work for education, but don't overlook Carolyn's equally important contributions when she served as a member of the Wilson County Board of Education. I'm almost done, but I got a couple more things. Both continue to show their deep commitment to education, acknowledging that while much has been accomplished, we still have a lot of work to do, and we don't need to give up on our public schools. To quote the governor, the most important thing we do in America is teach children.
My wife Carolyn and I are delighted to be honored by the Wilson County Education Partnership. It's a group that I was around and involved with a little bit when it first began. And I just want to say how important our public schools in Wilson County are, and all over the state. You know, a lot of people talk about we need jobs, and boy, we do. But the best thing you can do, and I've recruited over 16 years as governor, I recruited more industry to North Carolina than any governor in history. I know what they want. They want good education. They want good Smart Start and K-12, community colleges, higher education. They want the people who are going to come and work for them to be well educated, to be creative, to be innovative. That's how you get jobs, and we need more in Wilson County. The key to it is to support the schools, pay the teachers well, help our children study and learn, and help provide some technology for them. But those are the things we need to do to have a great future, and we want every person in Wilson County, we want every child who lives in this state to become all that they can be and ought to be, all that God wants them to be.
With deep appreciation and in recognition of your combined leadership, vision, advocacy, tenacity, and commitment to our children and our teachers, it gives me great pleasure to present to both of you the first Jim and Carolyn Hunt Friend of Education Award. And I'm going to give this to Carol. let you take the podium.
Thank you. Well, Martha, thank you very much. Miller, all of the leaders of the Wilson Education Partnership, we thank you, and we are deeply honored. We've had been honored a lot around the state and sometimes around the country, but this is really special. And we thank you, and we thank all of you for being great supporters and leaders for education and for the public schools, the most important institution in this great democracy of America. Public schools. Right. And you all are the reason it works. I know almost all of you here, and I know the things that you have done. I saw Miller Gibbons here tonight, Dr. Gibbons. I said, Miller, I remember when your daddy was chairman in this county and elected Terry Sanford a great education governor of North Carolina. That was his daddy. And he's following right in the footsteps. And I know so many of the great things that you've done. You're citizen leaders now for education, working with this wonderful partnership. And we need this to support the schools and to tell the story and to encourage business and professionals and parents and all the rest of us to do the work that needs to be done and convince our public leaders that we're behind the public schools. You're doing that. You've been doing it. Let's keep it up. I am proud of all that you've done, every one of you. And I want to say this. You've had a lot of people honored to stand up here tonight. Here's a group I want to call up. I want to ask that every public school teacher, principal, and school employee stand up. I want to honor the teachers here tonight and all those who work with them, and they are wonderful, and we thank them. We're very proud of them. And all the volunteers. You've been mentioned, and Carolyn, you heard that she was a volunteer for 35 years. Listen, she taught me a lot. Not enough, she reminds me. But I watched her go to those schools and work, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week. Representative Horn, you and Susan here. You're from Union County, a great education county. I watched her, and I saw what she did, very involved in communities and schools, and that's going now, right, in Wilson County? And you know what I learned from her? And when I became governor, I went and volunteered in a school every week for 16 years. 16 years. When we set my schedule every week, I said, put down that Wednesday afternoon. I'm going to be there when the child gets out of school, at least for an hour, maybe 2. And that's what we put first. And I learned a lot, by the way. All of us think we're leaders. We ought to go out there and keep learning. That's important. But I learned it from Carolyn, and thank goodness for the volunteers and from all of you. So tonight, we thank you. We commend you. And I want to say this. I'm proud of North Carolina. I've worked my head off, and many of you have, all my life to build public education and to see that our people are prepared well to teach and paid well to teach and able to get better as teachers. And so many of these great state leaders are here tonight, and I thank them for coming and all that they do. But folks, the best thing we can do in the world is to support our public schools, to support those teachers and all the people that work with them, and make our schools here in North Carolina the best in America. That's what we ought to be aiming at and working for. And we can do it in North Carolina. We can. I'll leave you with one more thing. You know, I was governor for 16 years. I recruited more industry to this state than any governor in history. I worked at it day and night, sometimes as many as 3 international trade missions in a year. I talked to thousands and thousands of CEOs, and let me tell you what they always said. We want good schools. Tell me about your schools. Tell me about early education, your community colleges, your universities, and your independent colleges, like this great Barton College we're at here tonight, where my daughter graduated. They always said, we want great schools and we're willing to pay for them. They never said, I want the cheapest taxes. They want reasonable taxes. They want the best schools. So you all have worked to make them that way. Carolyn and I are proud of you. We're thankful for you. We're proud and honored to have this award here tonight. Let's keep at it, folks. Keep at it. We're North Carolinians. We can do big things. We've done them in the past, and we're going to do them in the future. Thank you all very much, and good luck to all the children, the teachers, and everybody else.
Well, the Wilson Education Partnership is such a tremendous resource for the schools. What they really do, they help us link to the business community, but more importantly, they sponsor those events the kids remember about their time in school. When you think of the things we do, from the career fair to the symphony to all the other events, the academic achievement celebration, those are the things students remember, probably their whole lives. And without the Wilson Education Partnership, we wouldn't be able to put any of those on. So it's great for a community to have a resource like this. Of course, our education partnership couldn't be what it is without Martha Vick, and her boundless energy just makes this whole program run. I mean, for this program to be here for 25 years, and so much of what she's done just to make it so successful, to be such a huge resource, you know, we couldn't do it without her. So we always need to remember the brains behind the operation and Martha, so she's just great.
Again, Governor and Mrs. Hunt, we thank you so much for the pattern, the example that you've set for all of us, for what you have done, as well as what you currently do to support public education. Well, good evening. My name is Scott Sauls, and I have the honor of serving as the current president for the Wilson Education Partnership. I've been in Wilson for almost 17 years now. I serve on staff at a church here in town on the pastoral staff, but prior to being called to the ministry full-time, I was a North Carolina teaching fellow, and I taught middle school in Wayne County for 5 years before answering the call to ministry. But there's always been a part of me that still resonated among the education system. I've always said that were it not for the call of God upon my life in ministry, I would still be serving in the education system in some capacity. I have the utmost respect for those men and women that invest their entire being in training and instilling and working with our children. I also am a proud parent of 2 current Wilson County School students, of whom I get the privilege of, along with my wife, of helping with projects and homework and helping to take them to school and pick them up and ask about their day. And along the way, meeting some wonderful teachers that help us to mold and shape the lives of our children each and every day. We'd like to acknowledge some of the sponsors and some of the people who have contributed to our event this evening. To begin, we'd like to say a special thank you to Barton College. Namely, we also want to thank Adam Twist, Tony Tilley, Sharon Barnes, and Gerard Lane. Can we give all these a nice warm round of applause? We also would like to thank some other sponsors that helped us along with the evening. The John Hackney Agency, Salinger and Brown Attorneys, Sarah Warden and Mike Kushner, Thomas and Ferris, and Tim and Wendy Wilson. Can we show our appreciation to these wonderful folks and businesses? We decided, since we wanted to celebrate 25 years as a partnership in supporting public school, what better thing to showcase than our students? So we've been very honored tonight to have some people that have helped make some things possible while we were here this evening. I want to give recognition to, first of all, a couple of art teachers. Miss Amanda Lang was not able to be here tonight, but she did so much legwork in helping to make this happen. She is an art teacher in our school system, as well as Demetria Smith, who is here tonight. Can we share an appreciation for both of these teachers that helped us? And as you can see, we have some artists in the house this evening. We have students from across a variety of schools from Wilson County that are sharing their talent tonight and helping us to paint a picture, which we'll talk about a little bit more in just a moment, but we're so thankful for them being with us tonight as well. We also, to my right and your left, we have a wonderful group of students from Fike High School. They are the Jazz Combo Band, and their teacher is Mr. Tarvik Linder. Can we give a warm appreciation to Mr. Linder and these students? And we also have some students from Hunt High School from the broadcasting class. The teacher is Mr. Grant Robertson, and he's got some students helping him tonight with photo and video as well. So can we also give these a nice warm round of applause? And so Miller began our evening by looking back and reflecting over 25 years of Wilson Education Partnership. He highlighted various things that the partnership has done over the 25 years to make a significant contribution to public education in Wilson County. And we certainly celebrate those things that we've been a part of and helped to do. Tonight we celebrate not just the past, but also the present. By that, we are starting this new award that will be named in the Hunt's honor hereafter. And we look forward to future years of recognizing those that make significant contributions in Wilson to our public schools. But we also want to look forward tonight, because we believe that the foundation that's been laid so far will help us to begin a new journey. And so I'm excited to let you know that our endeavor as the partnership will continue to do those things that we've always been very passionate about doing, namely providing enrichment for our students as well as our teachers and our staff. We help to create and build on character education from early elementary ages up through their school years in Wilson. We also help with the arts and with academics. We also want to not only provide enrichment opportunities, but we want to provide recognition. And every year we help to recognize students that attain certain status with their academic excellence. And we celebrate that from middle school years as well as high school years. We also help to recognize our faculty and our staff and our teachers through the Teacher of the Year, the Principal of the Year, and endeavors such as that, even the Simon Awards. We are a vital part of that recognition as well. And then the last component that we've always strived to be so mindful of is fostering support among our community. And for years, the partnership has done a wonderful job, as is testament by you being here tonight, of partnering our businesses and our schools. Because our businesses want good students to be produced in our county, and our schools certainly want good businesses that bring families and give jobs to moms and dads. So there's a wonderful marriage that happens there. We are committed to continuing that and to build better partnerships among our community. But we also are widening our gap and our scope somewhat in that endeavor, because we've got an army of people in Wilson County that can serve our schools in creative ways. Whether it's a parent, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, we even have begun looking in the faith community to see if there are some people within our faith community that would be willing, under one agenda only, to come in and roll up their sleeves and simply serve our schools. And we're seeing that happen in wonderful ways even right now. So as we look forward, we're very excited about the Wilson Education Partnership. And we're also excited about the role that you can play, because, see, we all have a part to play. We are so thankful for those of you that have been a partner so far, but could you help us and advocate for us in public education within our community? Can you make it a matter to speak to someone about WEP and what we are passionate about so that more folks can jump on board with us and help us to do what we do for our students? To capitalize and to celebrate our 25th anniversary tonight, we're excited to launch a brand new fundraising campaign. These students are painting a picture, but many of you already know it looks very much like a license plate. And so tonight, we are officially launching a new fundraising campaign for our 25th year to simply say, Give 25 for us. The first part of that license plate is GV25. And we want to really let you be aware of what that means. Throughout the remainder of 2014, the partnership is going to be playing off of that number 25 in celebration of our 25th anniversary. We're going to come up with lists like 25 reasons you should be involved in your child's education, or 25 ways you can help and serve a school. We're going to talk about maybe 25 things that you can do to thank your child's teacher. And we'll be rolling out several lists like this to our community. We'd love you to be a mouthpiece for us as well. And we want to look for creative ways. Maybe businesses will say, well, the back-to-school fair is coming up in the fall, so maybe there are some things that we can do, like donating 25 backpacks or a multiple of 25 backpacks to the back-to-school fair. These students have been wearing some T-shirts, but as they've removed the white T-shirts, you see the last part of that, the for us. Because we want it to be crystal clear that we're giving 25, whether it be hours of service or maybe it's money or whatever it may be, we're giving it for our students. They are the us. And it's important that we share that with businesses and people throughout our community, that we do what we do not to get a pat on the back or get recognition. We do what we do to serve our students. These are our leaders of tomorrow. These are the ones that are even shaping our communities now. And so they need us to join arms with parents and grandparents and those other folks that are shaping their lives. That guy right there's got it going on. He's scaring me. He may be a future WEP president. I can see that about him right now. But you're going to be seeing more about this campaign throughout the year, and we want to invite you to be a part of this campaign. Certainly, we want you to consider a gift at some point, but we want you to also be that mouthpiece to help spread the word among our community about the great things that the Wilson Education Partnership does. And I believe that if we want to see Wilson be the best it can be, we all have a part to play. We all have a conversation that we can have, and we can point people together, because there's no doubt we can do far more together than we could ever do separated. Thank you so much for being here this evening. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your support of the Hunts, as well as the endeavors of Wilson Education Partnership. And we ask that you would please stay tonight after we conclude here in a moment. I'm sure we have some food left, and you can certainly make yourself available and have some more conversation. Some of you may want to come up and wish the Hunts just a congratulatory type remark because of their award, and we certainly would like you to do that. We will be, for a moment, staging some photos with these students and the governor and his wife. And so if you would be patient with us and allow us to do that, these students need to get home in a little while and get some homework completed so they can be up bright and early tomorrow morning for school. But once those photos have taken place, we certainly would welcome you to come up and speak to the governor. Thank you so much for being here tonight. We look forward to our next 25 years together. Thank you. Be safe.